Time now for part 4 of this week's Dragnet on 5-Day Theater as they get closer and closer to catching the thief or thieves of all of that stolen amount of goods.
The record showed that Conrad Lewis had been arrested for suspicion of armed robbery 10 years before. He'd been brought to trial, convicted, and sent to San Quentin. He'd served 6 years, and then he'd been released. He was not on parole at the time. Frank and I parked our car down the street from Lewis's house, and we waited for him to return. At 10:57 p.m., we saw a dark-colored Lincoln sedan turn onto the street and swing into the driveway of the Lewis residence. A man and a woman got out of the car and entered the house. Frank and I waited a few minutes, and then we walked up to the front door and rang the bell.
Yeah?
You Conrad Lewis?
Yeah, that's right. Who are you?
Police officers like to talk to you.
Sure, come on in. What's this all about? Something wrong?
Do you own a truck? A truck. Do you own one?
No. You mind telling me what this is all about?
Can you account for your time since Monday night?
Why?
Can you?
Look, I don't know what this is all about, and I'm not going to tell you a thing until you let me know what you want. Now, what do you want?
The answers to those two questions. 12:15 a.m. It had been only a little over 48 hours since Russell Gilmore had been kidnapped and beaten, and we had a suspect in custody. However, Lewis refused to admit any complicity in the crime. We talked to him for several hours, but he told us nothing. He admitted that he'd been arrested before and that he'd served time in San Quentin. However, he stuck to his statement that since his release, he'd done his best to live by the law. With the evidence at hand, he was booked at the main jail on a charge of suspicion of violation of Section 211 PC. We obtained the keys to his place of business, and Frank and I went out to check it. It was a large wholesale store selling used furniture. A search of the premises failed to turn up any of the stolen merchandise. While Frank went through the stock rooms, I checked the business ledgers.
Nothing back there either, Joe. How'd you do?
Well, according to these, Lewis does a big shipping business.
That's what the woman next door told us.
Been making shipments up to Oakland regular.
Books tell what they were?
Yeah, right here. He's been sending large lots of used stuff to a place on MacArthur Boulevard. There's a whole list of it here. Tables, living room sets, TV sets.
Better get in touch with the police up there and have them check this place out, huh?
Yeah. Without that stolen property, we're not going to have a very good case against them.
You got the address of the place up north?
Yeah. Let's go back to the office and get a call in.
Right. Sure hope they come up with the answers.
Well, if they don't, we might be in trouble.
Yeah?
The DA's office is liable to throw the whole thing out. Thursday, June 5th, 8:20 a.m. We put in a call to Captain of Inspectors Tony Bolger in Oakland and asked him to check on the recipient of the furniture shipment from Lewis. We also gave him as detailed a description of the stolen merchandise as we were able to obtain. In the meantime, Lewis had been admitted to bail and was released. Thursday, 11:15 p.m. Frank and I got back to the office from checking a lead on one of the suspects who'd driven the truck. I got it. Robbery Friday. Yeah. Yes, it is. All right. Tony Bolger from Oakland.
Let's hope we called it.
Yeah, Tony. Yeah? Well, what'd he say? Well, that's the way it looked from here. What? Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
How about it?
When you talk to the man who bought this stuff, he's clean.
How about the merchandise itself?
It's all stolen. 11:20 p.m. We got in touch with Lieutenant Smyers and filled him in on the new developments. After we talked to him, we contacted officers Max Herman and Ed Benson and made arrangements to meet them at the house on Cedar Street. It took us less than half an hour to get out to Compton. The other officers were there by the time we arrived. While they covered the back door, Frank and I went up to the front.
You think he knows it's us?
I don't know. Try it again. The car's in the driveway. We know he's in there.
Wait a minute. Sounds like somebody's coming out.
Yeah? What are you doing out here? Aren't you guys ever going to get off
Why
my
don't we
back?
come in and talk?
I got a choice?
No, you haven't.
Well, then come on in.
That's part 4 of this week's 5-part Dragnet. So come back tomorrow for the ending episode this week when the criminal can't get out of what he's being charged with.